Very good afternoon and welcome everyone. Today we are again at the US circuit in Austin, Texas, and today we are with our Tier 2020 boys who will be racing here today and showing their skills. And as Tier 2020 goes, as always, we have a full packed grid, full 20 drivers on the grid, full packed action throughout the race with the surprise element of the weather as well. In the commentary box, I have with me the real SD as well as Harryrox, who was my co-commentator yesterday as well. Just that I have switched my roles from being a commentator to a streamer today. So how is it going, boys? How is it going, SD?
It's all going good, dude. Sunday afternoon, got some popcorn with me. Just gonna look out for a brilliant action and maybe some donations to the for the wings. I mean, you all see that happening around Baku. So hopefully it's gonna be all clean around here. But yeah, looking for a good clean battle and maybe some thrills and spills at the end.
Yes, indeed. So we are already 5 minutes late into this race. So without further delay, Harry, I will come back to you with your opinions on what you expect in this full grid, especially after seeing what happened with Tier 2 yesterday. Let's just hop on board and have a look of the track. It's again a 20-turn track, a 5.5-kilometer long track with two DRS zones, one in the back straight and one in the start finish line. A lot of elevations changes, especially going into turn 1, which is followed over by the S section. So a lot of action. Let's just have a look with the perspective of Maranello Baby, who has set a blistering fast time on this track on how it actually looked in the 2020 game.
On board Maranello Baby for a lap around the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, USA. Now onto the lap. Now we're on the main straight, leading up to the very tricky uphill left of turn 1. Very tricky to get the braking right as well as lay down the power. Leading up to the flat out right of turn 2. Now onto the flat out left of turn 3, 4, 5. Leading up to the long right of turn 6, where you need to slingshot your car into the left hand king of turn 7. Going, and you need to set your car up for the right left of turn 8 and 9, and over the left king of turn 10. Now heading into turn 11, a very hard braking zone which leads up to the long back straight, which is very crucial for overtaking, and this is one of the prime overtaking spots on the track, especially considering that this does lead up to the hard braking zone of turn 12. Now coming into turn 12, braking hard, cutting as much of the inside curb as possible, going wide to maximize your traction. Now going as wide as possible into the right hander of turn 13 and 14, and coming into 14, which is a small left-hander, and into turn 15, this is possibly one of the most trickiest traction zones in the entire calendar. So the multi-apex corners of turn 16, 17, 18, where you hug the inside to minimize your distance. Into the high-speed left of turn 19, where you attack the inside and go out wide. And into the final corner of lap 20, very tricky to get your line as well as your traction right. And over the line, that is a lap around the Circuit of the Americas by our very own Maranello Baby.
So that was a blistering fast lap by our very own Maranello Baby, who is taking a break from racing game, but definitely will be back to slaughter the field again. And a very brief description by our not so Masoom on that lap as well. So Harry, I missed you last time, but coming back to you, what do you expect in this 20-man grid today? Yesterday we had only 12 people. What do you think about 20 people today?
Well, the first difference I must say is that we are on the 2020 game, so a little more downforce, maybe faster lap times as well. But again, these guys might not be the fastest in our league, but they're definitely feisty and they have full commitment when they're driving out there. So that's important. So it will be an interesting race. The weather is what I'm waiting to look out for. I think the boys have already gone into quali. They're just waiting to come out on the track. So I think the weather is all I'm, to be honest, looking for. Let's see if it's available on the stream. Looks like everything's dry. Quali is just slight cloud cover, so I don't think there are many issues with this as well. And also, I think the game is a little enlarged on screen.
Is it?
Not sure. Yeah, we're only seeing the left top of the screen, so
Good that
probably.
you told me before, so I have to just do transform fit to screen. That's Control F. Okay, now it should be all good.
Yep, it's perfectly fine. And we also have a telemetry. Excellent. So I think we will just wait and see how the lap times are, because I think some of the fastest lap times in the 2020 game was about 120, late 129s in season 6 when we drove around this track in this game. But now it's dropped by about a second, if I'm not wrong, at least from the time trials perspective. So we'll have to see how the lap times are. Everyone going close to each other?
Yeah, it seems like everyone decided to come out on the track at the same time. Let me just turn on the track map. There you go, and I believe we have everything on our screen that we need for the entirety of the session. But we see a lot of drivers coming out. Obviously, Tier 2020 being fully packed, jam-packed. It's so packed that 3 of our drivers are not getting a chance to race today, even though they wanted to race today. So that's the status of Tier 2020 right now. It's kind of more of a stable game as well. What do you think? Is that triggering more people to be in this and not switching to 2021?
I don't think that's the only reason. That is definitely one of the reasons, because we've seen how we are struggling with the lobby issues and the game throwing tantrums throughout our tier 1 and tier 2 races. So that is there for sure. But it's also that the fact of the 2020 game being MRP being about what 1.5k, and this game is
Oh,
almost 4k.
we already have a spinning husk there of BioRide.
Yes.
Just going for a casual spin in the third sector, but yes, you were correct about the pricing.
So yeah, that's probably one of the main reasons. I think that's the first reason, and then the experience of the game itself might come into play in what you were talking about.
Yeah, I believe that most of these people are just waiting for the game to go on sale, and then they might be, looking to grab onto the new game once it is also in their reach slightly bit. But apart from that, SD, what do you think about the strategy? We saw yesterday soft medium, we saw yesterday soft medium medium, we saw yesterday soft hards, we saw alternate strategy of all of these three. So what do you think is the ideal one around here and in this game? Do you have any speculation on that?
Yes, I have some prior experience. I mean, I did do one of the races around here in previous seasons, but yeah, I think compared to 2021, this game has a lot more tire temperature, so you are not going to get away with a one stop on the soft to mediums. Definitely, I think if they are looking for one stops, there's going to be a medium hards, but I think there is a possibility of doing a two stop of being soft medium medium. So I think do look out for people who do the counter strategy that is starting on the harder tires, but given that they will be so much slower on the first day of the first part of the race and possibility of safety cars, it might come to bite them in the back because of the loss or not being able to capitalize in the later half of the race.
Yes, indeed. So that was a brief technical description from SD here, who is sitting with us in the commentary box, who will be racing today again on this track, but on a different game. That will be the 2021 game. So the Haas of Acid will be the first one to cross the line and set a time. The Renault also of Akshat Hegde crosses the line with a 132.8. The fastest time is now beaten by Vinay, who is sitting at 132.8. His teammate Mighty Owl also goes 133.2. So a lot of these people finishing their lap, and we are seeing time being put up on the charts on the left side. Reese and his teammate doing 133 and 133.8 respectively. So what do you think about the times that we are gonna see today? Do you expect them to be really close?
Well, I think they will be close. Oh, when the Mercs going wheel across the line, and still Manish Kanchan manages to put in a 133 2, I should call it, because that's just 9,000s off. I wanted to point out that a lot of teammates are trying to get each other's slipstreams. I even noticed the Williams boys on before starting their lap trying this out, and yeah, the lap times might be a little different than what we expect, but I'm expecting about 131s, maybe. So what about you, SD?
I think it might be too much to ask because I think in a time trial, you can probably set a low 30s to maybe low 31s. But I think given the caliber of the drivers we have, and also that the track doesn't normally bite in as compared to the time trial. So I think these guys will be around the mid 32s to low 32s. That's what I predict.
Let's see what they can actually do. Right now, Tarang, who is one of the newcomers, is deciding to dive into the pits. So, I think everyone is done with their initial run and they are looking to dive back into the pits for a fresh set of tire and some fuel for the same. So that they can go out for more runs, but there might be some improvement, at least a 32 lows. What do you think, SD?
Yep, so I think right now it's a high 32. I think there are many people like Manish who are going to improve on the 33-1. And interesting to see that no one has gone for the hardest or the medium tires.
Yeah.
I think everyone. Okay, there are two people who have decided to do the counter strategy, but yeah, mostly people are expecting, I guess, to have a smooth start to the race because soft to definitely is going to be two stop if you're starting on the soft. So soft to medium to another set of medium probably. So yeah, it's interesting to see some people are doing 2 laps on those tires, so that's not going to be helping them as we see the Ferrari
Of
giving
course.
us a best Vettel impression.
Yes,
If I am
agreed.
not going to be political here, but yeah.
Oh, no.
So,
Well,
it's
I
all
think
right.
I think that's that's I don't know. Some veteran fans might get that. I think we're all right. We have a right to our.
Indeed, let's not offend people here. But did Vettel actually do that there in that place itself?
No, there was like 2 corners before, but
Ah.
yeah, that was due to contact, not due to him
Yeah.
trying to
I think-
light up his rear tires.
Correct?
Yeah.
SD or the Pancho, you as well. I think the second last penultimate corner as well. Vettel had a suspension failure once in 2017, I guess.
No, it was
When he went to the curve?
it was 2019.
That was
And
in
it-
the after the S section. He had a suspension.
That was
failure.
turn 10. Yes,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was turn 10.
He just was just coming up the crest of the hill, and his front tires were like, nope, I'm out of here.
Yeah, they literally went off track as in hanging in the air in the audience suspension. Yeah. In the meantime, according to the new poll, 2-1.
And that's an invalidation. Direct dive into the pits.
Yep. Meanwhile, we have a new pole sitter, a provisional pole sitter. We have Thermo in the commentary box with us. Our third commentator for today, going to be lending his voice and keeping us at least try to keep a track of the action that's going to unfold in the race. So Thermo, how is it going? How have you been doing in this fine Sunday afternoon?
Hello, chat and guys in the comp box. Sorry I had some technical issues, but yeah, I'm excited to see how the boys deliver in the US because, as you guys were talking about, it's very heavy on your tires and it's very technical. I personally don't like driving here because it's so tricky, but let's see how the Tier-20 boys deliver.
Yep, so looking at Shalalak locking his front left wheel, going through the final corner, crosses the line, is only good enough for P2 with a 132.2. So already we are in the low 32s SD, so your prediction might not be coming that true maybe with almost half of the session.
32-2, no, that's alright. Alright. But yeah, as I said last time, the low 32s, I'll be surprised if someone can do a 31 low. It's going to be or the 31 high to mid, so it's going to be interesting. If someone does it, I think they have nailed the entire track.
Yes, indeed. So we still have around 6 people yet to set time on this track. We will be keeping a track of them as well as they go around the lap. I see a big pile up on the last corner of drivers wanting to go to start their lap. It was a big gap that was being left there for everyone to get enough space. We have some yellow flags and some hachi-bachi with the Williams driver who is trying to give way to all the fast cars.
I'm sorry, Dipanshu. I also want to talk about this because this is I think Mumbai traffic at its peak, Bangalore traffic at its peak in India. What is happening in sector 1? Third one was a mess. Cars everywhere. I don't see anyone being able to lap such traffic. So,
Yeah.
we saw.
Yeah.
ADSI retired.
Seems like he was on the track for someone coming, or I also don't know. It was too much of traffic to keep track of into the first sector especially. In the S section, it kind of becomes difficult because you can get your next lap also invalidated. But Akshat Hegde is showing us how to invalidate in the penultimate corner and how not to do it as he wanted. He has only 20% ERS, so probably won't be setting the fastest of the times in his lap right now.
Absolutely, and important to note, Greece just now took on a fresh set of softs, so we don't see it. But both the current pole sitter, and Charlotte have put their laps on 3 lap old softs. And Charlotte, I was noticing my game because I'm posting. He had spins in the first sector on both of his flying laps, and it took him the third lap to set that lap time. So I think maybe he's struggling through that sector, or maybe the track temperatures aren't really helping him. I don't know, but he seems to be quite on the edge in sector 1 to the S's.
He definitely needs to put a better time on a different set, otherwise he will be left with almost half-worn tires, which are pretty much next to useless.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Looks like he's going for a new stint. So yeah, hopefully he sets a faster time for this. Regarding the traffic, just to give our drivers some credit, even a few weeks back in the real life USGP, we were seeing the same issue with the traffic. So yeah, it's still, it could be worse. That's what I'll say about that.
It could be worse. That's the end of the conversation for most of the thing. I see both the McLaren boys going really behind each other even in their hot lap before this. So is there some partnership going on here? Can you see them in the same VC? I don't think so.
I don't know about partnerships, but that is definitely killing the Tarang's lap, if I'm not wrong. He's the one behind. That's definitely killing his lap. I don't know if they're going to improve.
I don't think it helps. There's more dirty air than slipstream here.
Yeah. he could only put a time of 1:35.4, but it's just 2/10 below his teammates' time. Tarang is still one of the reserves, though he is still not a permanent driver in that McLaren. So he's one of the newcomers, yeah.
New pole lap, and it's a 131.9, just inside the 131s. But I think definitely no. I'm hoping that they go towards maybe 131.7. Maybe I think there are a couple of drivers here on this grid who have the potential to achieve that. Particularly this man, because he was a tier 2 champion a couple of seasons back in season 5 for Williams, if you remember.
Dipanshu, let's go on board Charlotte for his lap, because I think I'm really interested to see how he can cope with the time that Eric Griffin has set. So I think maybe we can move. Yep. So setting up his car, opening up DRS, goes over the line, starts his lap. Interesting that there is no overtake, there is not on hold, it's automatic, so it's going to be interesting. Brakes just before the break, the black box on the right. Tries to get a good exit, gets it, but it still doesn't look to utilize the entire width of the track. As section, very important not to invalidate, not to cut, gives a lot of room. It can easily cut more than that and gain time. He's the 10th up on Eric Griffin at this moment, but he has an Force India, a Racing Point, pardon me, in front of him. Might be giving him some steps to here, but he's going to lose a ton of time. But Aberpan stays well outside, hits the apex, and
there
loses
goes the time.
The exit, and that's the lap gone.
That's one of the spins he was having, I'm guessing, right here.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, he seems to be struggling a little on the traction. I don't know, the rear of the car just isn't sitting right for him at this point. But we'll have to wait and see, because he was able to set that P3 lap even after a similar moment in the same turn in that lap, in the 132.3 lap, which he has set currently. So I won't write him off yet, if you ask me. He might be able to go to P2 maybe, but yeah, his pole lap is still some time away, and I don't know if he's gonna jump into the pits, get a fresh set of softs, and again try, because if he's going for pole, I think he shouldn't waste any more time.
We have a disqualification in this session because of Akash Hegde blocking the pits. I think he went a bit too fast on the pit entry, and he hit the wall, and his car was 90 degree and he could not reverse in time, and the game disqualified him.
Just as he sets the fastest lap again, which is very unfortunate. It's worse than retirement because your time doesn't stay on the board.
Yeah, your
Yeah, but
time
he'll
is.
get a fresh set of tires. He was, I think, I'm not sure if he was in the top 10, but I think still there's two ways to be on this grid: either completely at the top or at dead for last. You don't want to be in the midfield going into turn one here.
You might
Yeah.
encounter situations like 4 wide and all those. So I
Yes.
thought Reese was on a lap, but no, he has abandoned it. Eric Griffin is on an out lap, so we will ignore him for now. Shalulak, is he on a lap? Seems like it.
I think he's recharged, or I don't know why drivers
He
are
is on a lap.
so close
He is on a lap.
behind. Gets a brilliant slipstream, but I think Mighty Owl himself is on a lap, so
no,
definitely
he's backing out.
yeah. He's too close to the AlphaTauri driver, I think. So
Sensible thing to do, to be honest. I mean, Shalulak has already put a lap on that tire. He should be careful on this lap so that he doesn't take out too much or out of that tire. I mean, it's better to set a lap on this particular set because the previous set was 3 laps old and 3 hot laps and 2 spins out of it in the S section. So it was not a small spin out of a traction zone or something. It was a spin at a high speed. So he's taken out a lot of life out of those soft sets, which he's put his 132.3 on. 132.2 on, I'm sorry.
So we have
Oh.
Mighty Owl crossing the line and improving his time. He is now in the 132 mids. So he should be happy with the top 5 unless and until someone actually comes and block his time. We have only 30 seconds left in this session, so the people who have not set their time, the man here, Abarpan and Neon, couple of tier 3 drivers from the last season, hope that they do their lap as quickly as possible. Neon, I don't think, will be able to do a lap because he is still in the pits as Abarpan invalidates his lap. So that's a qualifying over for him as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I think the last people who are going to cross the line are going to be one of the AlphaTauri drivers. Yes. So yeah, let's try to look. I think it'll be Vinay who crosses the line. Who's going to be the last one to finish his lap. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he can qualify. He's definitely close to the pole position, only 4 tenths away. But yeah, we
As we
should
say
have.
that, Manish Kanchan has put in a 131.7.
Ooh.
So I was very close, and I'm gonna give myself a cookie. Thank you, boys. And he goes pole with a 131.7, and he's beat his teammate by about 2 tenths. And it's a Mercedes front row lockout at the moment. Wow.
We are having flashbacks to real life GP from last season, last year's race. But let's see what others have in response. It doesn't seem like people are improving on their time. Uday does improve on his time and goes P6. The next to cross the line will be the racing point of Sajid. No, it will be the racing point of Abarpan, who has already invalidated his lap. I believe it will be Mountain who will be crossing the line as he comes through the final corner, opens his DRS, goes P10. Not a good position he would like to be because he does not
4
get.
laps on those tires. Sorry to cut you off.
Same for Sager, in fact, and he was in the pits in the end. So yeah,
Oh
it
my
will be
God.
very interesting for those two.
He will not be happy. I'm pretty sure about that.
Daryl trying to enjoy his P8 with probably one of the freshest set of tires in the top 10 because Manish has a perfect set, if you ask me. So does Reese, and I think Daryl is the other guy because Vinay seemed to have 2 laps on the previous set he was using, but now it's probably showing, the graphic is probably showing us the tires they are currently on and not the best set.
Yes,
Is it possible to show
this
that?
is the best set.
Oh, this is the best set.
Yes. I
Oh,
did
yeah,
check.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Pretty
So,
close up top. Not
I
gonna lie.
think, yeah, actually, it's actually a good few lap times within the top 4, even the top 5. Actually, even more than that. Look at the gap between P5 and P6, just 300ths. Just 300ths. So that's good.
Goes to show how diverse of a field we have tonight, in the afternoon. Sorry.
So,
I'm very used to
Two
saying
afternoon.
tonight for some reason.
Two after
It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, Dipanshu, sorry, go ahead.
so basically, the top 7 are separated by less than a second. Moreover, from P4 all the way to P9, separated by a second. I believe the P4 to P6 is very close. So it is a close field up in the top, and most of the drivers are in the 133s. So within 2 seconds, almost more than three-fourth of the grid is there in the 2 second mark. But everyone is done with their lap. We are waiting for Acid to retire into the pits, and that's it. That's the qualifying done for us.
Thank you for that short math spree, Dipanshu. Very quick stuff.
Quick
We must say.
maths.
Yes, quick math, absolutely. He's a math man. He's a numbers man, if you ask me. He's
Okay.
the only one who can do it at that pace. I'm not able to still calculate what you told. And
Mercedes 1-2 tonight.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mercedes
Right, yeah.
one too. So, do you think that this will stay for the beginning of the race? Before that, I will just run down through the grid. So, we have Manish Kanchan with a 131.7 in P1, pole position P2 by Eric Griffin, his teammate in the Mercedes with a 131.9. Reese in the Alfa Romeo, one of the reserve drivers with a 132.0. Shalalak in the Williams with a 132.2. Williams in Vinay in P5, Uday in P6, Mighty Owl in P7, Daryl in P8, Sager in P9, and P10 by Mountain Wolf. That rounds the top 10, all starting on the red ringed soft tires. So, strategy, boys, go. What do you
I
think?
don't understand how.
I've already given my say. Let's put it on to Thermo today, because I think he was not there when we're discussing the strategy.
Actually, yeah,
Thermo,
Thermo.
what do you think?
Well, yeah, I don't think I saw you guys on stream either when you were discussing. But yeah, for me, I think 2 stops is a guaranteed for most of the drivers. There will be a lot of hodgepodge, and especially with blue flag conditions, because we have a decent pace in pace, and I think people will have to go aggressive and do 2 stops.
We already.
I'm not sure if it's in line with you guys, but maybe
Yeah,
you can refresh my
we
memory.
also kind of said the same thing, but before that, I will just let you know that we already have a defaulter in the wait time, which is Vicky Biki. I think he was not there for the drivers briefing as well, and he's one of the new drivers who readied up early.
no.
We do have early ready up warning that we have for 1 minute. We do not let drivers ready up till then, but he did not get that notification, and he has readied up, and because of which some of these drivers might not have gotten time to do their strategy. But talking about the strategy, let's have a look at what the people outside the top 10 have decided to go on. So we have a mix of medium tires, soft tires also being run by a couple of people, especially Vicky Biki, Tarang, Akash, Akshat, and Neon, and medium tires obviously on the board. We have Soheb on the hard tires starting in the middle of pack. That's a very risky position in my opinion to start on the hard tires. You can easily lose your wing in the first corner, and that's your strategy down the drain. What do you guys think about that?
Well, before we speak on, if you remember, we had a Renault of Akshat get disqualified from the session, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that happened because at the pit exit he was out of fuel and the car failed to move in time, so he was not able to reverse in time and he got disqualified. Poor guy, he's in P19 now.
Feel really bad for him, but he's starting on the soft tires. He's looking for some aggressive moves in the race for sure. He wants to get back that position. I don't know how his teammate is also in P19. He should be currently in P14. Someone is out of their place. They should not be where they are. It seems like Akshat only has overtaken a couple of cars in the formation lap and has caught up to his teammate, but that's not how it works. But that's the predicted strategy by the game, SD. So you were telling soft mediums not possible because of the high tire temps. What do you have to say about the Codemasters strategy?
We know how the 2021 game is. Let's just say I have a chance of being right.
It's a 2020 game.
Let's see.
The Codemasters is siding with my prediction, I guess.
No, I think it'll be a 2-stop. Definitely.
See,
You can't make it.
I beg to differ, SD. I'm sorry, I have to cut you off there because I beg to differ, and it is possible to do a one-stopper, and it has been done. I have done it, and so have a couple of fast boys in Tier 1 last year or last year who have done it. Last season, I mean, sorry. It is possible.
We'll
Now that
see
it's not.
if we still have that factor to consider whether these drivers will or not. as
Yeah,
we wait
I
for.
should.
I still think the guys up front, some of them are experienced
We
enough
are
that they
counting
should
down
be
to the
able to
lights.
go.
Highlights on and off, and we're gonna wait for them. And he have a drive through for Rajesh, who's had a jump start, but he's not gone through it. And we have lights out, and the AlphaTauris were fighting already off the line. And I think Eric Griffin's got the move done into.
Ooh, there is some wheel banging at the back because of the AlphaTauri slowing
Oh.
down, and two cars just spin around on the exit of turn 1. Behind as well, some more side by side action going on. Everyone trying to find a way and form a line if they can, going into the S section, because it's very difficult to go too wide through that
VSC.
section. We have a VSC already because of the turn 1 exit, I believe.
I don't know what I saw there. I'm sorry, SD. I just have to point out that there was that Ferrari that went like a rocket
Yep.
into turn 1.
Yep. Yeah, but I think the might have been just the entry speed or the corner speed he had, and just slams into one of the cars that was already on the AstroTurf from the outside. Seeing that, I think we have two jump starters today.
Yes, we do
Asif
have.
and Rajesh. I just hope that it's not a reactionary jump start, because if that's the case, then oh my god, that's gonna be very costly for those two.
It might be that the lights went out and there was a lot of time gap. Like, there might be a lot of time gap when it was 5 lights and they did not anticipate it, and one guy did the jump start, another guy did it reactionary, as you said. I am pretty sure it was that only, but that kind of spoils, and we are back racing actually. I completely missed that.
Just wanted to point out, second week in a row, Racing Point is getting bad luck in the starts. Last week it was a McLaren that took out one of the Racing Point.
A lot of good racing going on between the P14, 15, 16 drivers. They are going side by side trying to find whatever gap they can in the third sector of the track, and now that it has sorted out, still the Ferrari trying to look out for the Alfa Romeo, who is diving into the pits. That is the Neon's car, who is going in for a wing change, if I am not wrong, moving up in the field.
Yeah.
Okay, that was Wiki of at the Alfa Romeo of Wiki who decided to do that. Reese is up there. Let's see how many positions a couple of these drivers have gained. We have Aburban 3 gaining 10 positions after the race start. Akshat Hegde 9 positions. Sajir losing 10 positions. We have a sector 2 yellow flag. Not sure what happened
Safety
there.
car.
And his-
ADSI had retired. I think he went into the wall, maybe. Looks like that, because he must have crashed out of the S's, and that has. Well, yeah, he has caused the safety car to come out now. Wiki can pass because the safety car is going to wait for the leaders to come. And Eric Griffin, let's not forget that race start within the top 4 was really close and probably clean as well, because Eric Griffin got the move done down the inside on his teammate, and Sherlock got the move done on Reese down the inside as well into turn 1. So now let's see how the strategies get changed, because most of these top 10 drivers, if you remember, had worn out soft tires, and this was probably.
Yeah, on that note, I'm pretty sure Shalalak is gonna dive into the pits because he will be on like 6 or 7 lap old soft tire, so he might be looking to get rid of it because.
Yeah,
Let's
the game
go
does
on
not
to
say
the
that, to be honest with you. It doesn't.
Yeah, that's strange.
It's strange. The game
He
doesn't
did
say how
improve
much.
on the new tires that he put on last time.
Yeah.
And you can see the color of the tires as well.
I believe the
Because
game
they-
only shows from the
The
race
race,
start.
yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't count the quali tire wear that they wear on. So
The technology is just not there yet.
yes, Codemaster still needs to have that technology incorporated, sadly. But
Codemaster
Shalalak
please
does
fix.
dive into the pit, so does Eric Griffin, and both have strapped on a pair of fresh mediums. Obviously, they are counting in that safety car will be out for another 2 laps at least, and they can conserve their tires till that time. It's like getting 2 laps extra life out of their tires.
I think some of the boys are listening to SD. Like I see another couple set of hards on Acid and Uday. So do you think at this point in the race it's feasible to go long 25 laps on hards?
It's doable, but it's not the ideal strategy, because I think the people who are doing another stop are right now on the hearts as we see each other
Lagging and
Having
losing in
mega
his...
lags,
I
lagging moments.
don't think
Again
that
he
was
is lagging.
yeah, that is a lag right now. I
Yeah.
think I was gonna support him, but yeah, now I can't. And
Yeah.
can we quickly go on board Manish, because I want to see if his his tires aren't really that old, but he's definitely gonna be, all the soft runners who've not fit yet will definitely be on the back foot, because they will have to drive another probably 5 laps to make the stint make any sense from here on. And Abarpan, as we say that, on the reverse strategy, starting from I think P18, is in P5 right now, and it's just 3 laps into the race. This is turning out brilliant for him.
Yep.
Too, so he has a tire advantage right now.
Yep, going back to the tires, I think, I think if you strap on a set of hards, you're going to get past left, right, and center here, because you're going to be not having the grip that people on mediums or maybe a little bit old softs will be having. So I think it's still a strategy to try out, but I think they might be better off. They might be better off just trying to go long and pit for softs for the last 5 laps or 6 laps.
Yeah, and ironically, two of the hard runners, they have drive-through they still have to serve. So I'm not sure how it will pan out when combined with that.
Actually, they might have to go into the pits as soon as the safety car is coming out. Otherwise, they might risk a disqualification as well.
Yep. If it was the last 2 laps, I think they would have been disqualified already at this point.
Yeah.
Not sure if BioRide had pit in this, but he has a wing damage, unfortunately. He's losing
Nah,
an
he is
end plate,
still
and that's
not.
some.
Yeah, he is still not pit. The top 9 have still not pit. Rest everyone has done 1 pit stop at least.
Well, interesting. 3 laps of racing. I think 2 laps of racing we saw, and then there was a safety car because of ADSI crashing out in the first sector, probably through the S's. And yeah, very close driving in the safety car. It's and as we say that, Mountain has just gotten a penalty for hitting Rajesh. And yeah, these guys are all very close for some reason. They like to live life on the edge, I presume.
Yeah.
Had just pitted, he got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well, so not really working out for him. But it may help with the boys who have drive-through right now.
Right now, let's see till when does the safety car stay out. Everyone has caught up, so technically the safety car should go in. All the drivers are trying to warm their tires on the straight by weaving. Definitely some tire warmth they will get back.
Tyler doing Kimi strategy for warming his tires. You love to see that.
That is the way, trust me. In the game, tire warm-up is such an overrated thing, which people do for almost the entirety of the safety car period, which is unnecessary. You instead just wear out your tires. Oh, and a spun Vinay. Unfortunate for him.
Vinay has left this session. I got the message a couple of minutes back, and I feel that something has gone wrong in that sector, and his AI was waiting for everyone to go. Yeah, he is not in the session.
That is sad, because he was up there with Mighty Owl in P3 or P4, and now this is gonna be a big bummer. I won't be surprised if the game puts him into the pits at this point. They've already gone, I think, because the safety car had him in this lap.
Oh, and there goes Mighty Owl with those cold tires, not doing justice to him, and he has lost his podium positions right there in front of his eyes as a couple of people are diving into the pits for serving their drive-through.
Yep, that is unfortunate. I mean, both in a matter of a sector, we saw both the AlphaTauris hitting bad luck in terms of Vinay getting a disconnect, and who was his teammate again? Mighty Owl getting a spin into the final corner.
I think he has spun again. Oh no, he does not have wings, so that's just not helping him through the S section, and he's letting people by.
Well, the rightful thing to do is that if you're an ethical driver, quote unquote, it's not wrong or right, it's just about ethical or being nice. And as we say that, Sager dives down the inside on Wiki, gets the traction down, while Wiki is also having to defend from the Ferrari of Neon, if I'm not wrong. It's a 3-way battle for P11, and Neon's getting the slipstream, got a better exit, definitely will get one position. Let's see if he tries to make a ambitious dive bomb doesn't, but does get close to Sager into the braking zone, and he'll try to stick to him through the sector 3 so that he can get a good run out of the final turn.
There's some battle going on between Eric Griffin and Tarang. Eric Griffin has already made up so many positions after his pit stop, and he is looking feisty on those tires, the fresh mediums that he has put. Meanwhile, going back, we have Rajesh and Mountain battling it out, and did not end well for Rajesh. He just tapped slightly the rear, and that just sent him spinning.
Yeah, that's how the game's model is. And as we say that, Charlotte is trying to make the move on Uday, who's on hards, and Charlotte is on mediums right now. Both of them have made their pit stops, but that should explain to you the story of the hards through the race from here on, I guess. Because the hards will be able to go to the end of the race. They might not have to pit anymore, but they will have no grip through the corners. And as you see that, he's having to cut corners to even stay on track at this point. He gets 3-second penalty in the process. And yeah, his lines are going to be very compromised. I hope he doesn't block his teammate, that's Daryl, who's on the other the two-stop strategy of being on the mediums right now.
Shalulak looking for a good exit, but gets compromised because of the car ahead of him. He did not expect him to be this slow, and because of that he has lost a couple of positions. But yeah, he will get back those soon.
Absolutely, and as we say that, Vinay's AI has put him onto a fresh set of softs, and he's in P15 right now. He's just joined the session as well. Charlotte is trying to, and coming back to this battle, Charlotte is trying to get back at Darren, going wide a little, going deep a little, different lines to be taken over there. So you really don't lose much of time over there. It's just about getting the traction and the mid corner speed right through that particular corner. I think it's turn 17 if I'm not wrong.
Yes, something like that. It seems like Sager is also closing up to this pack. He's just using Shalulak to, close in the gap, as Shalulak looks for the bad exit from Daryl and tries to go side by side. Still no DRS enabled, and he has to do it all on the power of ERS, which he is managing. He gives enough space to Daryl. Daryl is still sticking to the inside, going almost approaching the S section, both giving each other enough space. But oh, there is a minor contact by Daryl, who decides to turn sharp left because the track was going that side and there was not enough space for two people through the S section, and Shalulak in that manner loses his position and ends up in P12 right now.
Very unfortunate borderline racing incident here.
Well, yes, that is there, and I should also point out that elsewhere on track into turn 1, Uday had pit for a fresh set of softs, and coming out of the pits, he was gonna be wheel to wheel with Bioride into turn 1, and yeah, there was contact, unfortunately, so he has lost his wing as well in the process, as we can't see it right now. Ooh. Unsafe rejoin, almost taking out the McLaren of Rajesh in the process. But yeah, he will struggle for some turn-in. Will go back into the pits again for his third stop of the race.
With the exception of Sueb, right now, anyone who's on hard, whether it's strategy or not, they are having not a good luck right now. Everybody's struggling. While we have a three-way battle between Uday, Rajesh, and Mighty Owl.
Ooh, that's a lot of squeeze going on there. All the three cars trying to fit in a corner, but somehow they managed to come out alive. Oh, as I said that, Uday again blocking the line for Mighty Owl, and Mighty Owl being shoved out of the track there.
How they made it out.
And there goes Rajesh. See ya, have a nice day. That's what Rajesh said, and he loses his car on the exit.
Really struggling with grip right now. Not sure if it's the temperature.
Yeah, the hards usually take a couple of laps to get into a decent temperature, but you will never have the same grip as the mediums or the softs. So I guess those instances and incidents are all proof that those hards just not the tire to be used on this track.
Can we quickly have a look at the number of stops, because I see already people must have had at least 2 of them.
Yep, the bottom 2 people have had 2 stops.
Surprisingly, many soft runners in the front after 8 laps still are yet to pit. I know they had a safety car in their advantage, but very interesting indeed.
Double yellows in sector 2. Do we see a struck Haas over there? It looks like a Haas to me. And yes, it is Acid's Haas, a Acid 85. I think he had a spin, but he's managed to recover it and bring it back on track for now. And he has put it in the wall and retired from the session. Okay.
Did he do it? I don't know how it happened. Oh, he went to the left. Okay, on the traction. Yes. Explainable.
Probably.
Yeah.
Explainable. Yeah. I don't know, but I don't know. Let's not make comments on that because we don't know what the driver had. But in the meantime, Neon is hot on the tail of Suhaib. Suhaib has hards on, and he's the only hard runner who is currently able to keep up with the pack in front of him.
Oh, what was that car? I don't know
I
whose
think
car
that
was.
Suhaib.
I think
No,
that
that
was
was-
Daryl's lagged car or something.
Yeah, he's still up ahead.
Yeah, I think he just lagged. Oh, I don't know why would you go for that. That's not a wise move to do there. But he went for it and he tapped the side pod, and that ended up in him going to the through a spin.
Yeah,
Ferrari's
absolutely.
be looking for blood right now, low-key. That was way too aggressive.
Yes, that was probably aggressive because from what I saw, it looked like a desync. And as I see that Reese is reversing on track, the game might end up disqualifying him if he does something like that. Thank God he didn't, and he has wing damage as well. He was up there trying to fight for the podium places, but now it's all changed because of those incidents and battles and safety cars. It's all changed if you notice because Charles had a spin. He's in P10 right now. Reese, who was up there, had a spin just now. Doesn't have his left wing. Oh,
Oh, I don't know. That was the contact model on the lag, but that took out both the cars together. It might just be that the Red Bull just lost on the exit and just went sideswiped to the McLaren. McLaren being the
Was correcting loss of balance, and he was turning into the outside of the track for some reason.
yeah, that was just an unfortunate situation there. But Abarpan is catching up to the soft runner, that is Manish Kanchan, up ahead of him.
yellow flags in the final sector, and I think in the final turn, we might have seen one of those cars going. I was thinking about this. Tell me what you guys think about it, because the pit entry is a little bit weird because you might end up braking too late and going straight onto the start finish straight. But let's talk about that a little later because right now Abarpan has the move almost done, if you ask me, because the lights are blinking for Manish and he's made the move already well before the braking zone using DRS. Better tires because the mediums must be doing excellently well at this point compared to the softs and lap old softs of Manish.
Yeah, he's in the red zone. He needs to pit. And I already see many soft runners going to pit now. So yeah, it's about time for him. He could have gone for undercut, as we see a two-way battle between the hard runners, and it results in a wing damage for both, I believe.
I don't understand what happened there. But yeah, we saw that Alfa Romeo trying to stay on track and get the Rajesh going a little off towards the end of those assists, but I think straight lined it totally, and that was obviously those trajectories were definitely going to intersect at a point.
Yes. So we are having some break here. SD, we haven't heard from you since a long time. Are you okay there, brother?
I'm just observing the action because whenever you guys move on to another car, I see literally
Carnage.
3 or 4 cars trying to assert their dominance on the other car. So there's a lot of
Very
action going on.
diplomatic, very diplomatic of you, SD.
So there's a lot of car action going on. I'm just seeing that the top two have been actually keeping it very quiet and cool. Abapan started P last early.
P18 actually. to be
Yeah, so
precise.
around the end of the grid. So he after I think 11 laps of racing, he's already clawed up to P1. So kudos to him. He's had a brilliant first half of the race today, afternoon again.
Tonight,
Fine.
today, and then afternoon. At least you came back to the right one, and Reese
Yes.
has spun
Back-
in the pits.
Like I said,
No, no. That
he
was
might have
Wiki
gone at
Wiki.
the wall.
Yeah, that was Wiki who has hit the wall, I believe.
Yeah, so important to point out, both the Mercedes were looking strong till the safety car, and then when the safety car came out, only one of them wanted to pit because the fact that they can't double stack, they lose a lot of time, is what they thought at that point, I guess. So that has left Manish Kanchan to extend his soft stint so much that Eric Griffin's already caught up to him after a pit stop, and you notice he's got into pits finally. Okay, Manish has actually jumped into the pits finally. He's getting a fresh set of hards put on, and that is a little questionable considering how the race has been going on for the hard runners right now. I don't know how it's going to be from here on for him.
Either he
I
has
think he's
done
getting the Bottas treatment in the pits right now.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
16 laps to go. If he did 10 laps on softs, definitely could have done 16 laps on mediums.
Yeah,
What
that
do you
is
think?
also true. I agree with the calculation.
He's gonna be very vulnerable to P5 and P6. That's Suhaib on another set of hards, which is 11 laps old. Suhaib has kept it really well. Again, touch wood, because he's done really well this race, keeping it clean. Over the last two races, I've been watching this guy in the Renault. He's been keeping it clean. This race, he's able to use those hards and get some good laps in 11 laps on those hards. I think he's going to the end of the race with those set of tires.
Yep, along with those usage of hards, I think he's using the AstroTurf quite well as he definitely showed us there. Yeah, I think let's go to the penalties, because I think majority of the grid have gotten some penalties. But yeah, Mountain with 13 seconds and Larry with 12 is definitely not going to help, as we see people locking up turn 13 again. Charlotte has had a quiet race, don't you think? After I think he was P3 and he pitted under the safety car, he has not been able to make his way up the order.
Oh, were you talking about the Red Bull of Daryl?
Yes. No, I was talking
Yeah.
about Charlotte, who was not able to draw back.
Yeah, that's because if you remember, he had a contact with another driver. I don't remember who, but he had a contact with that driver in the entry of the SS, and he was the car in front at that point, it looked like. But yeah, going side by side is never a good idea into the SS. One of them have to concede, and yeah, now he's somehow clawing back. He went almost to P15 that contact, and now he's making the move on Suhaib quite easily with those mediums, and he's gone into P5.
It's looking quite good for Aberpan, don't you think? 13 laps of like 15 to go. He can easily put on a set of softs after completing 3 more laps. So yeah, let's not jinx anything, but yeah, it looks quite plain sailing for Aberpan as well.
They say that Mountain is having a wheel-to-wheel battle with Akshat Hegde, goes a little wide, takes some grass and dust off the place where they're supposed to be. Gonna try diving down the inside, maybe not. He's braked early, he's cut the inside curve fully and loses a wing to whom? I do not know. Did you just notice?
He
That was the
might
bollard, I
have
think.
lost
Yeah.
his wing long back.
I think he dragged the bollard with him as he exited the corner.
He
So
does
that was
not
the
have
wing.
a right end plate though.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Because out of that turn, I think it was turn, I don't remember the turn number, I'm sorry. The
12.
turn before the back straight,
Yeah.
turn 12. He just suddenly going over the curbs. It looked like a sausage curb definitely killed his wing over there. But yeah, like you said, telling could be anything.
Our current race leader has pitted in for a set of soft tires till the end. Will it go till the end, SD? What do you think?
Definitely not.
I
I'm
do
interested
not-
to see that. Yeah.
I do not understand why they have double stacked though, because Sager has spit right behind him. Avarpon is on a fresh set, but then Sager has had to wait for that much longer in the pits. I do not understand why they double stacked. Sager has now lost almost 5 places because of that double stacking.
It might be because Sager is a reserve and he might not be in the same VC with Avarpan, so not a lot of communication going on amongst themselves, so that might have caused that decision to happen.
I don't know what communication is going on there, but here there is definitely some communication needed because Suhaib is on a much slower time set. And,
I just
Just
saw a
disappeared
car
over there.
just vanish. Oh, that was a Starlight. Okay, expected. Again, man
Okay.
is just lagging.
he's in P7 now.
Man is just lagging back. That's how you fall back.
He had gone to P5 or P4, I think, and now he's gone back to P7, almost 3 places lost. This man must be furious. And Suhaib is gonna. Oh, that's impressive. Suhaib actually slows down,
No, there is
downshifts a bit,
VSC.
and oh, it's a VSC as well. Oh,
Oh, Vinay. I think I was just noticing. I think Vinay might be decent for everyone here because I think on his POV, he was conveying to me before he left the session or after he left the session was that everyone was in AI. So I think might AI his AI on this lobby might be causing some chaos. So let's have a look at it because I think it's VSC right now. So let's see if he's in control. It looks like he's in control of the
yeah,
car.
he is. He is. That's definitely him driving with a controller, and also he has a first sector purple. Hello,
There's
that's
definitely
good.
some glitch happening here, but yeah.
or maybe not because he's on fresh mediums and he spun out in the into the
Turn
first sector.
1. He spun out in turn 1. I don't think you can.
Oh,
They can have. Anyways, we are back to green racing. VSC ended, and these 4 people are still going at it for the P4 position on the track.
Uday in the meantime got a drive through during the race, resuming to green flag conditions from a VSC situation.
And
And I
Shalalak
think
does
he's
the
driving
lag
the-
thing again. Moves back
Okay.
more.
This is gonna be awfully frustrating for him. I won't be surprised if he jumps into the pits and calls it a day at this point. He has 11 lap all mediums and he has a long way to go. And as we say that, Abarpan is making the move for the lead, but he's on a soft set of tires. It's gonna be important to see or interesting to see if he's able to pull out a good gap to Eric Griffin, who is on a fresh set of hards for some reason.
I think did he
understand
start
why.
with mediums? No, right? I think he started.
No, he
with
started up in P2 and got the lead into turn 1 if you remember from Manish. So he was on softs, he went on to mediums and now he's gone on to hards for the rest of the race from here on. He made a pit stop somewhere within, I think the last lap only he made a pit stop.
Interesting choice of tires from Margaret here. Definitely throws whatever the other guys have predicted, the other drivers to be doing out the window because that hard tire, it's going to be at least really going to be equal in terms of pace with Manish concerned, but still it doesn't look like it's going to maybe suit him because Abapan right now can easily get a gap of I'd say 10 seconds, and even though if he starts losing in the last 10 laps, it will be difficult for him to claw back that time. So yeah, let's see how it pans out for the last I think 12 laps left in this field.
Absolutely, and as we see a move trying to be made and he makes it stick, Mighty Owl goes deep into the braking zone at the end of the back straight, I think turn 13 if I'm not wrong. And as I see that, ooh, some side-by-side action and they managed to keep it clean as well. Mountain Wolf and Byron, Mountain Wolf going around the outside of the penultimate corner and gets the move down on Byron, who's on 10 lap old mediums at this point. So yeah, the tire difference, the tire life difference between Mountain and Byron is about 9 laps, and that makes sense that he has much more grip than Byron at this point.
Yep. Let's go back to the penalties again. Sorry to cut you off. I think Eric just got a penalty or was it? That's a DT.
Oh no.
When did that happen? Is it on the VSC? Oh no, that
Yeah.
is.
Yes,
Oh.
that
That's
might
a
be-
race-ending penalty right there.
Well, I think that is definitely. If we thought that the hard tires might end up giving him a tough time in the race, but yeah, that DT's I think finished his race at this point. Though there are about 12 laps to go, he has to serve that within the next couple of laps because he got it under VSC, I'm presuming, like you guys said. So let's see if he does think about diving into the pits very soon, or if he's trying to build a gap to Manish because he's increased the gap from 3.5 to almost 6 seconds now to Manish if you notice. So
Yeah.
something's in the mix maybe.
Bioride has a wing damage because of which he is falling back in the grid. So he needs to pit or else this will just keep on compounding. He lost another position to Reese right now, who is on the hard tires. A lot of penalties on the grid though.
That's
Yeah,
expected given the first sector is very easy to get wrong and maybe put both or maybe all 4 tires off the race or off the track limit. So yeah, still I think everyone has been quite decent barring some actions here and there, but yeah, do expect some penalties here.
Well, I think Madhav trying to make a opportunistic dive on Suhaib, and Seja tried to make a because Suhaib had gone wide to not contest much for that position. And I think, yeah, that was a story which Sherlock had to go through. He couldn't get that steering input, steer enough to make the corner and not hit Suhaib. And now he's close to Suhaib. He will try to get the move done. Suhaib is much slower than him compared to, probably because of the tires, and he dives down the inside of, I don't know what turn number this is, probably 16. He gets the move done. That's a good move, but Suhaib also definitely not contesting much because he's on 14 lap old, 16 lap old hards, and he's just trying to go to the end of the race from here on.
Eric Griffin serving his drive through is coming out. Let's see how many position he loses. Seems to be coming out just in P3, not a lot lost.
Well, I don't know about losing. Yes, he had pulled out about 12 seconds or 13 seconds to P4, maybe more, because that was the last time difference I saw. But Akshat is going to be much faster on those 5 lap old mediums, and he's going to be closing in on Eric through the first sector and the third sector specifically because of the amount of grip you need to take it at almost flat out pace.
Both drivers will be getting free DRS right now. For Eric because of the blue flag car.
I don't think so. Akshat will be getting any DRS.
Yeah, he lost a lot of time
Yeah.
coming out of turn 10.
It seems like he's still slower than Eric Griffin.
Yeah, can we go on to Eric?
Seconds gap. So yeah, indeed something is off.
I think a little too late. He has lesser ERS, must have used a lot along with the DRS he's getting from Vinay. Remember that the blue flag cars, even though ghosted, do give you the dirty air effect, if I'm not wrong. And let's see if that does matter anything to Eric and to Akshat, who might think about that P3 at this point. I don't know about the penalty situation. I'm just talking about on track battles, on track positions.
Yes, indeed. Right now it seems like the field has settled up and people are just chilling out a bit. The blue flagged car of Vinay moves out of the way to give way to Eric Griffin, the leader, one of the person in the podium position. Do you think Eric Griffin will make it back? Because I'm pretty sure Abarpan will be pitting again.
Yeah, but he's 18 seconds ahead, 18 seconds or more ahead of Eric Griffin. And remember, Manish Kanchan's still there in the middle, and he is on a set of mediums, hards, and he's going to the end of the race. So Abarpan will be falling back to P3 or P4 maybe, but he will also be on a fresh set of socks. I think you mentioned that before. So it will be a battle to the end of the race.
I'm not sure if he will, if he needs to pit though. Like we also discussed the second possibility where if he creates at least a gap of 10 seconds, which he has, even if he slows down and stay long on socks, he can still stay and maintain his position.
But 14 laps on those socks. Can you guys check his tire? Is it enabled?
Yeah, it is,
yes.
and
Yeah, it's already feeling the burn.
The fronts look very worn already.
Yeah. So he is definitely gonna pit again in 2 laps. And then he's gonna try to make a charge again.
Definitely gonna pit and come at least P3, maybe P4, depends the pit stop time. So yeah.
absolutely. And we say that I think we had seen Suhaib and Daryl earlier battling it through the S section, and don't forget that Suhaib is on fresh socks at this point. He's in P8, yes, but I think he can get at least a position out of this because he has fresh socks versus fresh mediums for Neon, and he has about 5 seconds to catch up. Let's see how he does. Sherlock has pit onto fresh socks. He's in P6 at the moment. He's dropped down to P7. Probably will be losing another place. I'm not sure. Or maybe not.
It doesn't seem like.
This throws a challenge for Suhaib to make further positions up there.
Yeah.
Yes, it definitely does.
Abarpan has suddenly pulled out a gap of 13 seconds, 2 seconds in the last lap. Somewhere someone did a mistake, which he capitalized on, and Sager is looking to come as close as possible. It's a battle on track. Um, Not really, because Akshat has a penalty and Sager is driving this race completely clean. So Sager already has that position, but I'm pretty sure Sager is looking for the podium positions here, because the guys in P2 and P3 both are on hards. So he can very well close the gap to less than 3 seconds and maybe think of, oh, I thought he got a penalty, but he did not. But maybe think of getting on the podium also.
Yeah, to be honest, he should be able to do it. If we can quickly check how much time penalties do Eric Griffin or Manish have? It's a 3-second penalty for all the top three right now. So I don't see Sager not getting a podium anymore, because he's 4.4 behind Eric Griffin, and he just needs to gain about a second and a half, and he's already in the podium positions. But he might get it done on track itself.
Yeah, we will have to see, because he is on mediums and they are on hard, so definitely he will have the grip advantage for currently. We'll see how it pans out later on.
Quickly want to touch upon the pace from Abarpan. I think it's not like Manish making a mistake, because I noticed even last lap Eric Griffin was maintaining about the same gap, which is slightly slowing down now. But Abarpan seems to be having a Hamilton moment where he may be complaining about the tires, but he's putting in faster time lapse.
Ooh, bad news for Sager. He has left the session. Oh my god, and we can see his time crumbling down on the timing sheets there.
Absolutely. In fact, Akshat has almost done the move on him now, I think, through whichever sector they are in. Where are they? Probably in sector 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's lost that position already, and that's gonna be a big bummer. Yeah, there you go. He's gone through. So Sager's AI will be a scared cat literally on track, where a car comes close and it's gonna give way to any driver, whether they are blue flag, not blue flag, whatever it is. It'll just make way for the drivers. So Sager will quickly have to come back to session if he wants to try anything in the podium positions. And as we say, that Akshat goes very wide into turn 1, and Sager's AI is trying to use all the ERS as well, trying to keep up with Akshat. That's what the AI does, if we do not remember. Using ERS through the S's. AI is OP, bro. AI is absolutely OP.
It's AI doing some work, but I think this also opens up an opportunity for Shanalak, because we saw his overtake as he was rushing through the field. He may be able to catch up to the AI of Sager, depending on how long this continues to be the case.
If you guys have noticed, Abarpan has pitted and come out in P2 with fresh softs. So
Just 4 seconds behind, so this must be smooth sailing for him. He just have to overtake Manish, and with 9 laps hards, it's not the worst tire in the world, but he definitely should have an advantage over him.
Yeah, that's brilliant actually. Thanks to point that out, SD, because I think that's a race win for him at this point. Sager has joined, good news. He's 1.8 seconds behind Akshat in P4. And his teammate just now has had an excellent race all the way till this point. And from here on, he has another 5 laps, if I'm not wrong, 6 or 5 laps more to go. And he's just started his 23rd lap, or ended his 23rd lap. One of that's happened. So he will easily get the move done on Manish. If he thinks about it maturely, he might do it in the back straight with ease, with DRS and that enormous amount of ERS that he seems to have preserved and kept 68%. Manish usually burns his ERS a lot, and let's quickly see. Yeah, 14 as usual. Even in Baku we noticed it, his battle with Shalak. He was on below 20 at almost 3/4 of the race. So his first stint is where he used it all to get a good lead. And this should be smooth sailing for Abarpan.
As he mentioned in last interview.
Well, yeah, that's important to note as well.
But now it all doesn't matter, as Abarpan has a massive pace advantage as he makes that overtake effortlessly. And now we have even more drivers in the horizon, but I think those are mostly backmarkers.
Yep, they are giving way to our front runners, letting
Hopefully
them
it's
go.
not a Mick Schumacher moment from the nail-biting last lap we had in the race in real life.
sadly,
Yeah.
Sager has left the session. yet again. So yeah, the technical issues that doesn't seem to have resolved itself on Sage's camp. But yeah, hopefully he can come back before the race ends, because if he doesn't do around 75% of this race, he will not get classified. So yeah, hopefully at least he gets classified for his sake, even though it might not be a top position. But yeah, it might be something for spending at least 1.5 hours for in the Sunday afternoon. So yeah, hopefully he's back.
Well, yeah, him being back or not, he seems to be. It's going to be inevitable that he's going to lose that P5 as well to Sharon. Though he's the cleanest driver on the grid, in the topmost position at this point in P5. Neon in the Ferrari in P7 has managed to keep it clean up till this point, and so has Mighty Owl in P11. So these three drivers have done an excellent effort to keep it clean without getting any time penalties from the game. And Sajo might probably lose his position to Madhav at this point, because Williams driver.
For the penalties, he has 11 seconds, even more so with Madhav, and with Sajo he has 6 seconds. So he can claw it back if he can join. Otherwise, this race is unfortunately done for him, as SD mentioned. But he does have a lot of time to play with. It's just when he decides to join, if he can.
I think he's back, if I'm not wrong. I did see the pop of him joining the lobby, so I think he might take control of his car as we speak, probably by the mid straight or by the end of the straight, if he's in the lobby. So yeah, Abarpan meanwhile looks to have a healthy lead on Mani. So yeah, that's the battle for the lead seems to be not happening anymore.
And we have a yellow flag somewhere on track in sector 3, and it seems to be. Who is it? Isn't.
I think
Sorry?
it was the Alpha Tauri.
Okay.
Lapped car of Vinay.
As chat predicted, Rajesh has been disqualified. I think he has way too many time penalties.
Oh.
So
Well,
unfortunate for him.
I can relate to that, because in season 6 I think I drove USGP. For some reason it was not working out for me. Mid race I was disqualified for having too many penalties. So yeah, this track definitely does take some amount of concentration and practice to keep it on track and not get that many penalties in sector 1 specifically, which is where you rack up most of those penalties.
Also very close on the edge with 21 seconds penalty. Hopefully he keeps it on the safe side.
Yep. Can we just have a look at the top penalty? I might have missed it. But yeah. So it looks quite level field at the top with Eric.
Eric seems to have gained 3 seconds more time penalty
Yep.
since the last time we checked. Unfortunate. Sager leaves the session again. It's highly unlikely that his race may not be counted at this point.
I think he's not able to take control of his car.
Oh, that's a big bummer.
That's a big shame.
Yeah.
He made the hard strategy stick and keep it clean, which was very commendable indeed. Looks like he has joined again, but let's hope that it stays this way. As you see, Reese lining up to sniff Mountain's rear wing. But
Nice save there.
Good choice of words.
Yes.
Hard
he doesn't have-
versus-
Yeah.
Oh no, he doesn't have enough. There, but
Yeah, that's as
Mountain
well,
does
and
go wide. Yeah, that doesn't look like the lines that the guy ahead should be taking. As Reese just Reese just puts his car in the middle and expects the other guy to not to lift, to be honest, and still it doesn't the move doesn't stick. So yeah, they live to fight another day. Thankfully.
Interestingly, when you just pointed that out, Reese and Mountain were very close on track, and then the very next corner, I think turn 16, that banked left-hander, if you notice, they went literally to the left and right most extreme of the track.
They were
Yeah,
giving a bit too much space.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes Mountain.
11 laps, mediums not working out for him. As you can see, the fronts are borderline gone. Unfortunate. Luckily, he doesn't have any damage, but definitely doesn't seem to have enough gap left to catch up now.
His car seems to be losing the rear a bit easily, and I think that's because of the temps. And I hope he's a little aware of that because yesterday's race, though it's a different game, we noticed that a couple of drivers were not able to uh, manage the tire temps once they spin, and they retired at the pits due to that.
Abarpan
And-
gets another 3 seconds. Is
But
that
he
gonna
has
be
enough
hampered?
gap. I think it should not matter.
Oh,
And
Manish
Manish also got
yeah.
3 seconds. And speaking of penalties, if it can't go any bad to us, Mountain has at least 9 seconds penalty. It shows 14 in game, so I'm guessing he's going to be out of points from the looks of it as well. Very unfortunate for him.
Yeah, might have sped in the pit lane for the 5 seconds to be added to the telemetry of the show. But yeah, 14 seconds, yeah, it might be different. So yeah,
Daryl, 24 seconds now. Since the last time we checked, he's got another 3 seconds. This track is notorious for track invalidations, but he is just one penalty away from getting disqualified as well.
Yep, I think the battles on track have settled down. I think Mighty Owl is the only one that's close enough to make a move. But yeah, moving on to the, I think, end of penultimate lap, are we? Yes. Abarpan is just rounding off the final sector to start his final lap. It's been a good race, do you think, from Abarpan? He has showed how consistent he is, and the choice of tyres to go from the mediums to a double soft strategy. So yeah, definitely 2 stops for him there.
And I think it's best time to also for the chat to start choosing their driver of the day. And I think we all would probably have one guy in mind for this race. Insane back row to first front row recovery with very wise tire choice, since he chose what I wanted. And as we see, Mighty Owl taking over Mountain, and even though he had this position anyways, he wanted to settle this on track. Let's see if he can make it stick. Both had a moment. Looks like it will be.
Yeah, it will be. He's got in P10. He is definitely getting a couple of a single point for his team after that unfortunate VSC restart where he spun out on the penalty on the final corner and his teammate disconnected from the session. You have double wave sector 3 yellow flags, and it looks like someone's retired.
I
Was
think
it?
he reset to track.
Yeah, it looked like that, and it looked like Uday had a spin and reset the track probably, but that's fine. We'll look into that later. And yeah, Abarpan again, my driver of the day, purely how well he's managed the whole race. And as we speak, I think Sharalock might be trying to make the move for P4 on the final lap. Akshat trying to defend, but then he realizes he's coming like a train down the straight, and Sharalock
I
gets.
think I think Abarpan is just gonna cross the line, and yep, celebrates by leaving the car left and right, and that's your winner for round 5, USA folks.
Akshat may still get the position because of penalties, but Madhav at least keeps it on P4 on track. Decent recovery, but it's all in vain. Unfortunate for him. Also, chat mentioned that Akshat was P19 when he started, since he had a mishap in the quali, and he has clawed up back to P4 as we just see them cross the line.
Can we go on board Sager? Is he in AI or okay, just missed it. But I think if we have finished on track, then I think he might be able to keep his P6. But yeah, let's see. Might be under scrutiny, and Stewards might take a look into this.
Absolutely. But nonetheless, it was a good race from Sager. He could have been on the podium if you remember right. He was closing in very quickly to the pair of the Merc pair, and he was also on the faster soft tires. But yeah, unfortunate disconnection and not being able to connect back in time after multiple attempts. I think either a DNF or the result not getting classified, or it's a P6 which he'll have to settle for. But yeah, like the chat mentioned, Abarpan definitely from P18 all the way to P1, and Akshat all the way from P19. He came up to P4, and he did have a couple of battles on track where he lost positions, had to fight much harder. Aberpan had a much more cleaner and easier race compared to him in terms of battles or track, I guess. But nonetheless, our final driver gonna cross the line by ride with a red left wing due to probably a spin. I don't know, but yeah, that's the race for to afternoon. I missed it. I just
For
missed.
Sager, he was also taken out by a Ferrari in lap 1.
Oh
So,
yes. Yeah.
brilliant recovery from both Racing Point drivers. Commendable for performance overall. And overall, I think we all can say it has been a very eventful race. I think we didn't have a single moment where we could just relax and talk about anything but the race.
Yep. We did have action throughout the entire 28 laps that we had tonight in the afternoon again. Oh my gosh.
Yes,
SD is living in US time zone, confirmed.
Yeah.
absolutely.
So yeah, I think we might go to the race results soon right now, and we will have the drivers for the podium interviews that probably gonna happen soon. So yeah.
In the meantime,
yeah.
on chat, Dandy Man asked how the finishing order is going to change because of the penalties. Well, those penalties are nothing but time penalties, Dan. So what happens is if you finish in P1 and the gap between you and P2 is 2 seconds and you have a 3-second time penalty, you're going to get 3 seconds added to your total race time, which will push you down a position or so on henceforth. So if you notice, Sherlock went to P4 in the final lap, but he had a 3-second time penalty more than Akshat, which caused Akshat to get back P4 on track. So that is your explanation for how those penalties affect the race results at the end of the race.
So in game, did Aberban get driver of the day?
Yes.
I think yes, obviously,
yes.
because the
18th first.
yeah, that, and I think the number of overtakes that you make hugely decides how who is called the driver of the day by the game, isn't it?
Yeah, from where you start to where you finish, that decides the driver of the day. If you started way down and if you finished way up, you will get the driver of the day. That's how generally it works. But that's it for the race today. We will move on to our podium interview with our podium finishers. Do we have them in the chat?
Yes.
We do.
Yes, we have.
Why don't you guys take it forward?
All right. So, well, we have a race winner here for sure. In the Racing Point, it was Aberpan, and a brilliant drive from you, Aberpan. Tell us how you went through that first lap and gained almost, if I'm not wrong, 10 positions from P18.
Yeah, again 9 positions. It was P9 at the end of after the first turn. So yeah, I just sent it a bit, and I was lucky because I was annoyed that I qualified so low. I couldn't set a lap time in qualifying. I invalidated all my laps, so I was a bit annoyed and kind of sent it, and it worked. And yeah, from there on, yeah, I just kept my cool. Didn't lose my wing, and yeah, the two-stop worked out a treat.
Well, that was a brilliant race from you, and a well-deserved P1, a win from P18, which is, I think, it will definitely be in the one of the best drives till now in the season for the Tier 2020 grid. So kudos to that. Moving on, double podium for the Merc boys, and I think Manish was the one who led the Merc boys into P2. He finished, and Manish, let's have a word from you. How was your race?
Yeah, well, it was a decent race. I kind of lost out on the first safety car, and that's what already put me in the back foot. And then from then on, it was just recovery because I had really dead tires when the guys behind me had the fresher mediums. So it was all about securing those important points for the championship. And on the hard tires, I had no pace when Aberpan put on new softs. So I think that was just damage control from my side today.
I really want to jump in here. We were curious to see why you went 2 laps longer on the softs when they were already pretty burnt out. So what was happening over there? Was it like you were trying to time each other's pits, or what happened there?
No, I was just trying to extend my stint so that I could have a better pace on the hards towards the end, because I knew the guys on the mediums would be pitting for the faster tires towards the end. So it was just about extending my first stint.
Yeah, but that did almost cause you dropping down two positions. But great recovery from you and your teammate, whom will go next now.
Yeah.
So congrats once again. So Eric, again, I think you had an unfortunate drive-through that could have
Yeah, I think
affected your
Codemasters is
race.
still a little broken. So I pit under the first safety car for the mediums. Then when I was about to so Abarpan pit and then I was gonna pit the next lap and the VSC came out. So I was like, oh my god, great for me. But then when I came out of the pits, it said that the VSC was ending and I didn't have enough time to slow down because I was still on my pit limiter and it just gave me a drive through. So I think I'm gonna have to report that and try to get it removed because there was literally no way for me to avoid that.
Yeah, that's just Codemasters being Codemasters. But drive-through, it's like something which is very hard to quantify.
Hmm.
But we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
But despite all of this, both you and Manish, you have dominated even the quali with your fast-paced times and even in the race. So once again, congrats to the Mug Boys and for getting the podium today. Anything else you want to add, guys, from the combox?
Nothing from my side. I believe we are done. Congratulations to all three of you for your brilliant race finish and your performance in the race. But that concludes our stream for the Tier 2020 USGP Round 5 here at IRC. We will be back again at you today night at 8 p.m. with our Tier 1 race in the F1 2021 game. Same track in Austin, Texas, USA. So do tune in for that, and if you do like what we do here and if you do like what you just watch, consider subscribing to our channel and do consider putting down a like if you liked what you see and a comment down as well as to what your favorite moment was. But that's it from my side. If you are a motorsport enthusiast or if you like doing all these fun races in F1 or Assetto Corsa or ACC or Dirt Rally or be it any racing games, and if you like to join a healthy community of around 1,200 members, do consider joining our community. The links to joining the Discord server are there in the description down below. The links to our website also are there in the description down below. You can head over to our website, which also contains the links to our Discord server. So hope you all had fun. We definitely had fun, but that's it from my side. No more pro player streaming, and in the com box, Harryrox, the Real SD, and Thermo signing off for now. Thank you. Have a good